I had a crush on my so-called uncle but was scared my elders would find out, so I suggested a secret relationship. Alex snorted, not even in the open. I'm not interested in kids. But when he saw the senior waiting to take me on a date downstairs, Alex pushed me against the floor-to-ceiling windows on the second floor. My soft moan was swallowed by his kiss, and he whispered in a raspy voice, "Keep it down. What if they find out about our secret relationship?" In the quiet back seat of the Maybach, Alex sat in a perfectly tailored suit, his legs crossed, looking at data on his iPad, fingers moving deftly. "Alex, when do you want to be my boyfriend?" I scooched up close enough that my eyelashes brushed his cheeks. "If not today, how about tomorrow?" My first move, close the physical distance. Alex stopped, looked at me with a faint smirk, and then pushed my face away. "Surely, I'm your elder. Technically speaking, as my stepmom's brother, he counts as family. But we aren't related by blood, so why can't we date?" Quickly, I grabbed his descending hand and held it to my cheek. "I really like you." Second move, just the right amount of physical touch. His fingers twitched on my face. Alex raised an eyebrow. "You really like me?" I nodded enthusiastically. "How much?" I thought for a second. "I like you so much that I even stopped hating math." Alex tutored me in math throughout high school. His tough-as-nails coaching didn't make me like him any less. It made me study harder, hoping he'd notice me. Clearly surprised by my answer, Alex paused and then chuckled. I pouted. "I'm being serious. Why are you laughing?" "I wasn't." "Yes, you were. I saw your dimples." Alex smoothed his lips and patted my head. The car had stopped without me noticing, the driver having already stepped out. In the dim light, stars glittered in Alex's deep-set eyes. I was so dazed I forgot what Jessica's third move for a confession was. Out of nowhere, courage bubbled up in me. I grabbed Alex's shirt collar and pressed forward. I managed a clumsy, impulsive first kiss. I fumbled along his soft lips, trying to figure out the next step. But Alex didn't let me continue. After just 3 seconds, he pulled me back by my neck. As I gathered myself for another attempt, a tap on the window startled us. "Alex, did you pick up Shirley today?" Maria's face was practically glued to the glass, then quickly darted away. "Are you serious, Alex? What are you doing in there?" she yelled, and I nearly dove under the seat in panic. But Alex firmly held me by the waist, covering me with his jacket. The window rolled down a crack. Through gritted teeth, Maria's voice came through. "I asked you to get Shirley. Why are you playing games? Where's my daughter?" Hearing my name in this situation made my heart race. I quickly scribbled a no with my finger on his chest, fearing Alex would yank off the jacket and say, "Here she is." As soon as I moved, Alex's grunt came unexpectedly, and he grabbed my hand. "Forget it. Just bring her home for dinner when you have time," Maria sighed before her heels clacked faster than sneakers as she left. The window rolled up. I lay there, still on edge, lost against Alex's chest. He pinched my face lightly. "Is that all the guts you have? You said you liked me." I stammered. "Maria just scared me, that's all." "Good, at least you know fear," Alex replied, indicating I should leave his lap. "We shouldn't do this again. You might scare yourself before upsetting your dad and your stepmom." After Maria left, my courage came rushing back. I snuggled further into his lap, wrapping my arms around his waist. "We don't have to tell them right away. We could date in secret," I ventured. Just as I finished speaking, Alex pushed me off by my collar, his expression priceless. "Did I say I wanted to date you? But you kissed me already," I protested. "And you promised me then." Before high school graduation, I confessed to Alex for the first time. My feelings were no secret by then, and maybe Alex had already sensed them. He wasn't surprised, he just patted my head gently. "We'll talk after your college entrance exams." But Alex was a liar. After exams, he stopped responding, barely even came home. I sensed he was avoiding me. Jessica said my confession was too childish, so here I was trying again today. You did promise me, I repeated in the silence. But Alex still wouldn't speak. Desperate, I moved to embrace him again, wanting another kiss. He stopped me. Quit it. I'm not interested in kids, Shirley, he said seriously. And then, Alex stayed away for a whole month. Maria and my dad thought maybe Alex finally found a girlfriend. I assumed she meant the misunderstanding at the parking lot. Never expected her to mean, Sandy might be ambitious, but she's clearly smitten with Alex. A few days later, I met Sandy face to face when I went to Alex's office looking for him. That's when everything started to make sense. She kindly led me to Alex's office. But as I got closer to his desk, she snapped, almost unable to hold back, "Don't touch." I froze on the spot, momentarily confused. I suddenly forgot that I'd just seen a familiar wood carving on his desk and wasn't sure what it was, which was why I wanted to take a closer look. Sandy quickly adjusted her demeanor, smiling gracefully. Alex doesn't like people messing with his desk. She really wanted to protect Alex's desk, it seemed. So she sat down to keep me company. She told me she'd been working under Alex since she graduated college. Said that headhunters had been flooding her email, trying to get her attention, but she didn't care. Do you know why? I've been by his side for so long, and he seems like he's finally about to give in recently. With a confident tone, she smiled at me and said, "Shirley, maybe next time you see me, you should call me Aunt." It was then that I started to really take in Sandy's features. Bright and beautiful, with a professional demeanor, she had just the right amount of makeup and the charm of a mature woman. When Alex rejected me that day, he said something like, "Not interested in kids." So is this his type? I was listening absent-mindedly, but before I could even respond, the door opened. Alex came out of his meeting, and seeing me, he didn't show any surprise. Instead, he looked quite annoyed. "How did you get here?" My mood dropped instantly. "Subway. From your school to my company, that's a 2-hour subway ride." Alex frowned. "Shirley, what were you thinking?" His words were directed at me, but Sandy jumped in playfully. "Alex, don't be so harsh on girls." Surprisingly, Alex softened his tone immediately. "I have a dinner meeting, come with me, and I'll take you home afterward." I suddenly got so irritated. Why does he listen to her so much? "I don't want to go, and I don't need you to send me," I said as I stood up to leave, but Alex was quick and pulled me back. "I'm worried," he sighed softly, a slight hint of helplessness in his voice. "Shirley, I can't skip this dinner. Just be good, okay?" High school was tough, and I was not in the best shape. Several times, I got a fever in the middle of the night. Once, my dad and Maria weren't around, and Alex happened to come home to fetch some documents. He didn't usually stay at our place. By the time he arrived, I was already dazed from the fever. I felt like a kid again, crying out for my mom. That was the first time Alex let me lean on him, patiently feeding me medicine. He changed the wet towels on my forehead every few minutes, the whole night. After that day until my college entrance exams, Alex stayed at home. At the dinner, Sandy smoothly and confidently helped Alex fend off drinks, like a gallant knight. Even Alex's business partners couldn't help but tease. Sandy is really a heroine among women. Alex sure is lucky. Sandy just smiled without saying a word, but she looked at Alex with a hopeful gaze. For the next drink, Alex didn't let her drink it. I felt like an extra, sitting in the corner watching them seamlessly team up. Feeling uneasy, I was ultimately saved by a message from my roommate, Jessica. "Shirley, I think I just saw you. I'm here with the photography club next door. Wanna join us? They'd love to have you." I replied without hesitation, "Be right there." I tugged at Alex's shirt. He had just finished a drink, bringing a faint scent of alcohol when he leaned in. "What's up?" Maybe a bit tipsy, he leaned in too close, our foreheads almost touching. It made my heart skip a beat. He has no sense of personal space. I cursed inwardly. But out loud, I obediently said, "A friend of mine is having a get-together next door, I'd like to join them." Alex checked the time. "I'll come to get you when I'm done. It won't be too late." I didn't reply and left the room directly. In the hallway, Jessica came running to hug me from a distance. "Shirley. I saw you from afar." She glanced behind me and said, "You looked so gloomy trailing after your uncle, what's up?" I pouted and told her about the failed confession, encountering a rival, and the likely heartbreak. Jessica listened with gritted teeth, feeling indignant. "Alex, that old man, has such lousy taste. Our Shirley is the best in the world, aren't you?" She dragged me to the room next door. "Don't worry, sis will introduce you to some young, handsome guys that suit a college girl like you." Jessica wasn't lying, turns out. There were quite a few good-looking guys in the photography club. I briefly forgot the pain of probable heartbreak and joined the party. Jessica planted me at the card table and whispered, "Unlucky in love, lucky in cards. You'll nail this." She seemed to have nailed it, as my luck at cards was mysteriously good despite my previous lack of skills. The third time I nailed a straight flush, Jessica got suspicious. "Senior, are you secretly going easy on my Shirley?" I looked up and met a gentle gaze. Ken, the president of the photography club. I realized I was being helped out, so I smiled awkwardly and said, "Thanks for going easy on me, senior." Ken chuckled, "You're welcome. If you want to thank me, how about exchanging contacts?" Amidst the surrounding cheers, I awkwardly scanned Ken's contact info. After the game, everyone started drinking. I'd never touched alcohol before, and quickly felt a bit tipsy. I quietly slipped out to the balcony for some fresh air. I don't know when Ken appeared behind me. He handed me a warm cup of lemon water. "Thanks, senior." "No worries," Ken smiled. "Actually, on the first day of freshman year, I wanted to help you with your luggage, but your boyfriend didn't let me." "Huh?" I was surprised and denied it instinctively. "I don't have a boyfriend." On that day, my dad, Maria, and Alex sent me off together. Alex was the one carrying my luggage the whole time. I don't recall anyone else helping. Ken raised an eyebrow, giving a sly smile. "So it's fine if I start pursuing you?" Only then did I realize he was teasing me into confessing, and I shyly ducked my head. Ken chuckled softly, "You're quite adorable, Junior." The evening breeze was cool, but there was a sudden hint of something more between us. Ken took the cup from my hand and bent down near my ear. I instinctively stepped back a little. "Senior, this doesn't seem appropriate." "What are you thinking?" Ken laughed, "Just look next door." I hesitated for a moment and followed his gaze. At the end of the balcony, two familiar figures. Under the dim light, Sandy was wearing Alex's jacket, about to tiptoe and kiss him. Before I knew it, I ran off in a hurry. I never realized how much of an effect alcohol could have. After a few drinks, I forgot all about that annoying scene. And I forgot about Alex, too. "Shirley, your phone keeps going off." "Is it Alex?" Jessica, holding me with one arm, grabbed my phone that lit up a few times on the table with her other hand. "Alex? Who's Alex?" My brain was all muddled up, and I just hung up without thinking. I hated that name, it sounded awful. Okay, it's awful. We won't bother with him. I'll take you back to school." Jessica pinched my cheek, getting ready to help me up. "I can carry her, if you want." A shadow loomed over, and Ken bent down, reaching out to me. I dodged a bit, shook my head, and stood up myself. "No need." But Ken still put his arm around my shoulder. "Don't pretend to be tough, you're drunk." Before he finished speaking, Ken was already pushed back onto the sofa. By the time I realized what was happening, I had fallen into a comforting, yet resisted, embrace that smelled of cool pine. I tried hard to push him away, staying rational. "Be good, I'll take you home." Alex tightened his grip on my waist. Ken tried to get up from the sofa, but Jessica held him back. Though not his temper. Pointing at Alex, he yelled, Who are you? Alex's face was icy, and his tone even colder. And who are you? Ken gritted his teeth. I'm her senior. My head was spinning, listening to these two go back and forth. It was making me dizzy. I twisted in Alex's arms, trying to break free. Alex finally had enough, picked me up, and carried me out. At the doorway, he turned back and said to Ken in a stern voice, I'm her guardian. I drifted off on the way home, awoke to the soft embrace of a bed, but something felt off. It wasn't the familiar berry-scented room I knew, and my bunny sleeping buddy Bonnie was replaced by a cold-faced guy. He leaned over to wipe my face, his handsome face suddenly up close. Instinctively, my hands reached up to hold it. Surprisingly, he didn't pull away or get angry, felt strange. Who are you, handsome? What do you think? I blinked. I don't know you. Are you from our school? Alex's hand paused, his expression turned chilly. Shirley, say who I am one more time. This was Alex, always gruff with me, but chivalrously drinking for other girls. Shoving me away but accepting kisses from others. The scene on the balcony came rushing back. My heart felt like it was pricked with 1,000 needles, painful. I sniffed, tears welling up unexpectedly, and buried my face into the soft pillow to hide them from Alex. The room fell silent, and soon, my consciousness drifted. I felt a gentle touch turning me and speaking words I didn't grasp, like I was cradled to sleep. How had I learned to drink without him knowing? When I woke up in the middle of the night, my head was heavy and confused. I reached for the water on the bed, but someone beat me to it. Alex came from outside, sat by the bed, helped me up, and fed me sips of water. Are you feeling any discomfort? Want more to drink? I was a bit dazed. Why was Alex at home? I was sure he moved out a while ago. Then it hit me, this must be a dream. I'd dreamt such scenes often, mostly on hot, rainy nights, with Alex being all gentle and accommodating. So I instinctively hugged him. And he didn't push me away. This convinced me even more it was a dream, so I got bolder. I straddled him and kissed his cheek. But just as I was about to kiss him, Alex turned his face, dodging me. Shirley, who am I? I got anxious. How could he refuse me in my own dream? I grabbed his face and smacked it a few times, then bit his lip. Alex, don't reject me. Before I could finish my sentence, his soft lips silenced mine. I don't know how long it lasted, but Alex finally held my restless hands and hugged me tight. Shirley, don't test me anymore, he whispered, voice hoarse. They say a good night's drunken sleep cures all troubles, but I remembered everything vividly. Including the dream. Thinking about how I bullied Alex in dreamland, I couldn't help but give myself a slap on the face. He belongs to someone else now, so just forget it. What belongs to who? Alex stepped out of the kitchen, placing a mug of milk before me, and casually gave my hair a pat. Knowing Alex meant nothing by it, I still dodged. The cut on his lip was hard to ignore. From my dream experience, I knew it likely wasn't self-inflicted. Who else could it be? Sandy. Alex's hand froze midair. What's up? I bit into a sandwich. I've decided to keep my distance from you from now on. I came to this conclusion upon waking up. I really liked Alex, and I tried hard. But Alex rejected me and made it clear to everyone he was just my guardian. All signs pointed to his decision. More importantly, he's with Sandy now. I can't like someone so much I lose my head, knowing he's with someone else and still cling to him. Alex frowned. Shirley, do you remember what happened last night? I do. I blinked. That's why I decided to stop bothering you. Consider my past antics as childish. But last night Alex's words were cut off by the doorbell. Sandy stood there in a sharp suit, dragging a suitcase. Alex seemed surprised. Why are you here? Sandy glanced past Alex at me, seemed taken aback for a split second, but quickly regained her composure. I'm here to accompany you on the business trip. Alex replied, didn't I ask you to hand off to Chris? Sandy's expression stiffened, a trace of pleading in her voice. Chris is still in Xinjiang. Alex, I've been managing this project, please let me finish it. I was hearing the conversation through a haze, but I got the gist of it. Sandy is getting reassigned. Makes sense, especially since she's now Alex's girlfriend. She can't just be an assistant anymore. I stuffed the last bite of my sandwich into my mouth and realized it had pickles. Way too sour. As I zoned out, Alex returned to the table. I'll give you a ride back to school after we eat, he said, ruffling my hair. Surely, let's talk when I get back. Before I could respond, Sandy's voice came in from outside. Alex, you're going to miss your flight. I got her hint and waved my hand dismissively. No need, I've got plans to see a photo exhibit with a friend. Alex frowned. Which friend? Was it that upperclassman from yesterday? There was no photo exhibit. But for some reason, I nodded. Yeah. Ken's been pursuing me. For 2 weeks straight, it's been good morning and good night messages, along with gifts. I wouldn't accept the gifts, so he showered my whole dorm with them, even turning Jessica into his wingwoman. Jessica came back with a box of tiramisu. Your senior bought it for you. I don't like sweets. Jessica teased, do you not like sweets, or is it the guy giving them? Are you still hung up on Alex? Since Alex went on his trip, I cut off contact with him. Why? Because Alex keeps bombarding me with updates on his daily activities. Like the beach view from the office, stray cats under the hotel, and wildflowers by the roadside. He used to send a few like this during his trips, but only because I pestered him for it. I would bug him with math questions, making him show me what he was up to. I guess it became a habit. My willpower isn't great, so I turned on Do Not Disturb for his messages. Trying my best not to look or reply. I pouted, I'm not so forgetful I'd move on just like that. You dummy. The best way to end one romance is to start another, Jessica chimed in, shaking my shoulders. I'm not saying date the guy right away. Just get to know him. Use it to get your mind off things. Dizzy from the shaking, I crawled into bed, pretending to be asleep. Just then, my phone pinged with a new message from Ken. I found a camera from the same vintage series you shared on Twitter. Wanna try it out at Sunlight Park this afternoon? I'll find a model. I'll carry the gear. What'd say, Shirley? I opened the pic he sent. It was indeed the series I wanted. This brand had long stopped production, each piece was a rarity. I'd spent ages searching for a seller but found none willing to part with theirs. After pondering for a moment, I replied, giving in to the temptation, let's do it. Thanks, senior. When we left Sunlight Park, the sun had fully set. We shot through 10 rolls of film that afternoon. Even my fingertips felt satisfied. Ken strutted on my left and invited me to dinner. After the afternoon of freeloading, saying no felt wrong. It was a chance to repay the favor. I nodded, sure, my treat. Ken smirked, his eyes twinkling, then I won't hold back. The restaurant was Ken's pick. A cozy spot by the campus with a romantic vibe. Mostly couples, which made me a tad uneasy. But I figured out why Ken chose this place at the very end. As we were about to finish, Ken mysteriously took a call and left. From our booth, I coincidentally saw him outside receiving a big bouquet of red roses from a delivery guy, scanning to pay. In my internal debate about whether to bail or stay, I didn't notice the shadow looming over me. Next thing I knew, Alex had pulled me into a dim booth. The door clicked locked, trapping me between the door and Alex's arms. Breathing mingled in the intimate atmosphere. I tried to push him away but he seized my wrists. Why haven't you been answering my calls? Alex's fingers were cool, but where they touched felt burning hot. I suppressed the thumping of my heart. I didn't hear them. And the messages? No replies for 14 days, Alex paused. Unable to come up with a good excuse, I confessed. I said I wanted to keep my distance from you. Alex fell silent for a moment, then asked in a slightly dangerous tone, keeping distance from me to get closer to him? My silence seemed to confirm his suspicions. I heard him scoff, tinged with inexplicable anger. Ken's GPA is only 2. He might not even graduate. Not only do his grades suck, but his character's questionable. You're the 7th girl he's confessed to. His dad's in entertainment, with a messy family background, and their company's struggling. Last month, they were asking your dad for investments. Reciting Ken's life story like a speech, Alex rattled it off without emotion. I was incredulous. Why investigate someone like that? Alex avoided the question. His intentions aren't pure. At least, not solely out of admiration. You shouldn't consider him or regret missing out on this confession. He dismissed it as if it were an ordinary business proposal, offering a straightforward reason for rejection. I knew it was just him showing concern as an elder. But I suddenly felt so frustrated. And deeply sad. Sad that my feelings with Alex couldn't be equal. He cared about me, not for the reason I most wished for, yet it still moved me. Emotionally unraveling, I held back tears but they fell onto his hand anyway. Alex seemed momentarily confused, then panicked. Why are you crying? I wasn't yelling. Clumsily, he cupped my face, wiping away the tears. You actually like him? Am I not even allowed to say a word? I couldn't process what he was saying, focused only on my emotional release. Don't treat me as an elder if you don't like me that way, I choked out. Alex, if you don't like me, then don't meddle. I do. Boom. A sudden explosion from outside, then fireworks glittered across the sky. Alex's words, muffled by the fireworks, were unclear. I didn't dare try to understand. But then, Alex leaned to my ear and repeated himself, distinctly and confidently. He said, I like you. I froze for 3 seconds before breaking down further. Then I smacked him without hesitation. Are you crazy? You have a girlfriend. Alex finally couldn't take it anymore and grabbed my hand as the last firework exploded outside the window. Who told you that I have a girlfriend? He pulled me into his arms, gritting his teeth. Shirley, are you done hitting me? If you hit me again, you better get ready for a sore backside. Can you tell me now, dear? Alex handed me a cup of hot water. I took a few sips and dodged the question. Where is this place? Earlier, Alex had whisked me away from the back door of the restaurant and drove us over to this apartment near campus. Home. I didn't quite get it. Why did you buy a place here? It's not in a good area. Alex stared at me unblinkingly. What do you think? I tilted my head, unable to come up with an answer. I bought this right after you applied for college. The property is in your name. I was worried you might not like living in the dorms, concerned you might clash with roommates, and thought you might occasionally need some alone space without wanting to go too far home. But it seems like I worried too much. He paused, sitting next to me and leaning slightly to meet my eyes. Shirley is liked everywhere she goes. Alex's tone had shifted a little since he first began speaking to me. I couldn't quite place it, but it was almost soothing. His gaze had a strange tenderness. It took me a while to process what he said, and then my ears started to get hot. But I didn't argue. What you said isn't wrong. Alex chuckled at me, pinching my ear. Stop changing the subject. So, tell me. Who's this girlfriend of mine? Since Alex first denied it, I had a feeling I misunderstood something. But others misinterpreting it too? It's definitely their problem. Sandy, Maria said so, and you let her kiss you. When did I? Alex faltered, seemingly realizing something. Seeing his reaction, I got mad and rolled to the other side of the couch, maintaining a distance between us. See? Even you can't deny it. But Alex just smiled. Did you see her kiss me? No, I said almost reflexively, not even thinking. But Sandy had been close enough to Alex for a punch to land. I figured he had no reason to refuse. While I was caught in my thoughts, Alex had shifted closer to me. So, was the day you got drunk because of me? Alex was so close. Almost brushing against my nose. His warm breath hit my face. I shook the sense that he was trying to shift the topic with his charm and tried to keep my wits. I put up my hand to keep him from getting too close, still serious. We're talking about your problem now. I pushed her away, he said after a pause. The hotel security footage wouldn't have missed it. I can get a copy, okay? I just stared at him. Alex pressed his lips together and went on. She did confess, yes. But I turned her down right then. I even told her to change positions. She just got promoted to chief assistant recently. That day was her first business dinner with me. She probably didn't know I don't have my assistants cover drinks for me. Honestly, I never gave her any signals, and I didn't care to notice if my subordinates had any feelings for me. I was skeptical. But you knew I liked you. Before I even finished speaking, Alex got it. He took my hand and held it. My heart's all for you. If you can't see that, then I'm in trouble. Tonight, Alex seemed like he flipped a switch. His words left me defenseless. I shut up. As for my sister, I don't know who she talked to. He gently rubbed my hand. I couldn't exactly tell her that the person in my lap that day trying to kiss me was. Okay, stop. I leaped forward, covering his mouth. But I ended up falling onto him. Alex raised his eyebrows and kissed my palm, then pulled me onto his lap. The memory was vivid, like being back in that dim car. My heart and breathing got all tangled up. Alex tilted his head up to me. Cool lips brushed over mine, soft and gentle. Like he was nudging me with a little piglet's touch. Who are you calling a pig? It was a piglet the first time and a little dog the second, nipping until my lips were sore. I was confused. What first time? Second time? Halfway through the sentence, a light bulb went off in my head. The scenarios from my dream played like a carousel in my mind. In disbelief, I asked, so that night wasn't a dream? Did you think it was? Alex scrunched up his face, sounding a bit hurt. Almost thought you got what you wanted and didn't want it anymore. Flustered, I hid my face in a pillow. What did I get? I didn't get anything. It was just a kiss and a little touching. Alex hadn't spoken for a while. The room got quiet. Thinking he left, I sneaked a peek, only to find him crossing his arms and grinning at me. I got mesmerized. Until a shadow blocked the light and something soft touched my lips, causing me to instinctively close my eyes. Alex kissed me gently. No clue how long it was when he finally pulled back and brushed his nose against mine. When are you going to make it official? Once you do, I'm all yours. My heart hammered, but this all felt surreal. You said you weren't interested in me. Alex didn't say anything, just led me into his study. Across from the couch was a wall covered in black cloth. As Alex pulled it off, my heart skipped a beat. A whole wall of cameras, categorized by brand, displayed neatly on shelves. He pulled me into a hug, gently tracing his fingers over my lips. I started buying these cameras back when you were in high school, thinking they'd make a simple graduation gift. But I was too scared to give them to you because I had a guilty conscience. As your tutor, someone older by 8 years, from any angle it felt like if you liked me, I'd be leading you on and taking advantage of you. He laughed at himself and said, Shirley, I'm afraid one day you'll find out I'm not as good as you think. By then, you'd regret that your first love was a guy with not so great morals. Even with how bad he painted himself, he never backed away even a little bit. My heart was racing, and my eyelashes fluttered. I asked, so, are you trying to seduce me now? Alex froze for a moment and hugged me tighter. He buried his face in my shoulder, speaking in a muffled tone. I really tried hard to control myself, but I failed. Shirley, he continued, you can kiss me whenever you want. Whether it's secret or out in the open, I'm ready to be your boyfriend anytime. Can we do that? The apology message I sent to Ken got no reply. He didn't even accept the money I transferred for the desserts he sent to my dorm. I was thinking about how to return the favor when, unexpectedly, he showed up at my house. It was our family day, and Alex and I had both come home. The doorbell rang just as Alex was kissing me against the window. From there, you could perfectly see Ken with gifts, standing at the front gate. A knock on the room door caught us off guard, and Maria's voice drifted in. Gossiping in tone, she said, "Shirley, someone's here for you. He's quite the looker." I broke away from Alex's lips, replying, "I'll just change and be right down." No sooner than I finished, Alex cupped my chin and kissed me again. He teased with a mean tone, "Is he handsome?" With my voice muffled by kisses, I mumbled, "Not handsome at all." Any whimper got swallowed by his kisses, and Alex whispered hoarsely in my ear, "Shoo, quiet down. We're supposed to be keeping this a secret. What if we get caught?" "Oh, Alex, you're such a weirdo." "Be good," he said, "just one more minute of kissing." When I walked out of the room, Maria was still at the door. I quickly covered my mouth with guilt. Luckily, Maria didn't notice anything was off and just kept probing, "Shirley, is that your boyfriend?" I quickly waved my hand, No, he isn't." I was terrified of answering too slowly, in case the guy inside overheard and got jealous. Alex gets way more jealous than I do. Maria didn't seem convinced, her eyebrow raising meaningfully. "Go on then," she added, almost muttering, "What's up with Alex today, sleeping in this late?" Guilty, I dashed downstairs. I didn't invite Ken in. Instead, I handed him a shopping card. Ken's face turned a bit sour. "What's this, Shirley?" "Thank you for the desserts you sent for Jessica and everyone. Don't go spending more next time." I'd said enough, the rest didn't need saying out loud. But now it seemed like I needed to be clearer. What if he keeps coming over about this? "You know, Ken, my dad values a good proposal more than my words." The gifts Ken brought were health supplements suited for older folks. His attention wasn't on me at all, just kept glancing past me, toward the house. Shame my dad wasn't around. Ken paused, then suddenly got candid. "Did your guardian tell you I approached you to fix my dad's business issues?" I shook my head. "Remember when we went to the Sunshine Park for a photo shoot? The summer after senior year, I picked up a gig to photograph a business reception. The model there was a companion of a Mr. Q. Besides, the type you like is nothing like me, right?" Ken's likes on social media were all for curvy girls. I'm just a beanpole. My phone buzzed in my pocket. It was a message from Alex. "Look, Sonny. Want me to come down and hold an umbrella for you?" I glanced up to the window, and there was Alex, leaning against the large window. He looked down at the corner where I was, expressionless. When he noticed me looking, he lifted his brow playfully. I raised mine back at him. Ken followed my gaze, his expression realizing, "You too, huh?" I didn't deny it. He's not really my guardian, but someone I like a lot. "No wonder," Ken chuckled, "that day on the balcony, you ran off so fast, thought you were just shy." Forcing a fake smile, I was already turning to head back up. Ken stopped me. "What if I told your dad about you too? You think he'd give me a shot?" Surprised, I didn't answer. Before Ken could say anything, Alex suggested we tell our parents. With me sitting on his lap, my head buried in his chest, I mumbled. Alex pinched my earlobe. "Nervous?" Tracing circles on his chest, I said, "I'm worried they'll scold you." Alex couldn't help but laugh, his laughter making his chest vibrate. "Worried about me getting scolded, or is it both of us?" Caught red-handed, I got mad and playfully bit him. "Fine. I'm worried about everything, okay?" I nuzzled against Alex, my voice dropping. "I'm worried Maria might think I stole her brother away and hate me. I really like Maria. Back in high school, she found out I was losing sleep over failing grades. That was when she had first moved in. I was just taking a walk in the garden to clear my head. I'd done it hundreds of times before, and my dad never noticed. Maria was different. Once she found out, she gave me a hug, comforted me, and made me snacks. Most importantly, she brought Alex into my life. Alex chuckled helplessly. I thought you'd be worried if your dad didn't approve. But it turned out to be that. He cupped my face and gave me a kiss. You forgot what I said? Shirley's loved by everyone, wherever she goes. She'll have your back. Turns out Alex was right. When Maria saw me and Alex holding hands right in front of her, she froze for a few seconds, then threw her high heels at Alex. Are you out of your mind, Alex? The heck were you thinking? Alex didn't dodge. He calmly announced. Shirley and I are together. I was the one who pursued her. Maria was about to lose it. Do you know Shirley technically counts as your niece? You and Tony didn't get your marriage license, so technically, she doesn't. Alex pursed his lips and dropped the bomb. Hey sis, you two only got together for your company's benefit. Why not let Shirley and me be? As soon as those words left his mouth, even I was stunned. Before we stepped into the house, Alex had told me we'd go slow and steady. Looking at me, he gave my hand a reassuring squeeze. Then he pulled out a stack of papers, putting them in front of my dad and Maria. With a stern face, my dad finally spoke up. Alex, what's the meaning of this? Tony, these are all my shares, options, and fixed assets. Last month, I transferred everything to Shirley's name. I know it might not mean much to her, but it's everything I have. I promise I won't hurt her. My dad gave a dismissive snort and tossed the papers on the table. He sat on the couch, silent, for quite a while. Finally, his gaze met mine. Shirley, come upstairs with me. In the study. My dad rubbed his temples, opening his mouth a few times only to stay silent. If you're worried, Alex. No, it was me. I liked him first. I cut him off and poured him a cup of tea. He paused, then took a sip. I sat next to him. The last time we sat together like this, I can't even remember. We don't talk much. He's always busy, and I rarely see him once a month. But I know he loves me and respects me. Dad, all my life, from the little things like braiding my hair to big decisions like picking a college and major, you've always let me choose. And I think I've done all right so far. So for choosing who I like, can I decide this one too? He gave me a long look, silent. I suddenly felt I might be asking too much. After all, this isn't just about us, it touches family ties and ethics. It might not be easy for him to accept it right away. If you don't. Get rid of him if you stop liking him, he interrupted, covering my hand with his large one. I have your back. My eyes welled up. Thanks, Dad. The whole situation ended with Maria giving Alex a good beating. Alex ended up with bruises on his lips and cheeks, plus a scratch near his eye. I sat on his lap applying ointment. His fingers playfully tickled my waist. What's with that worried face? You that upset? I was gentle. Will it leave a scar? A scar wouldn't look good on you. Alex leaned back, one elbow propped on the mattress, the other hand holding me tight. His voice turned teasingly dangerous. Not good looking anymore, huh? Planning to ditch me? Fighting back a smile, I put the ointment down and cupped his face. Alex, you gave me everything, huh? In a way, yeah, being my stepmom's brother is like being an elder. Yup, he blinked, working for you for life. So you can't ditch me. Got it? Otherwise, I'll be left with nothing, pretty sad. His eyes were beautiful. I got so lost looking into them I didn't even hear what he was saying. All I wanted was a kiss. So I followed my instincts and kissed his lashes, slowly moving to his lips. When I got to his throat, he tensed up, and then he took over. I tried to say something, but he silenced me with a kiss. In the quiet, his breath was deep, voice hoarse. Was that on purpose? Fluttering my eyes, I replied, well, I'm all grown up now. The bedside lamp clicked off, and more kisses followed. Out of nowhere, I remembered his earlier words. Hugged him around the neck. Alex, I'm not going anywhere. Tree shadows danced outside, and moonlight lit the room. Finally, at 18, my heart found its place.